Today we're going to talk about the new Reveal chip from CMAP. It is a traditional CMAP chip in the sense that it has both the raster and vector layers, but now includes the new Reveal layer. The Reveal layer is a high-res color bathymetric view of the ocean floor. Now we're going to jump into the NSS Evo 3 and show you a few things about the new CMAP Reveal chip. So here we are on the NSS Evo 3, and anytime you put in a new chip, you must first change and select that chip. So home, menu, options, and you go down to chart source. Now we can see our available chart, which is our CMAP Reveal. We select it, and then when we go to chart options, this is all the available features in the CMAP Reveal. First one we're going to talk about is photo overlay. So photo overlay has land only or full. So with land only, obviously all land masses get the photo, and then you notice when you do that, photo transparency turns on, and that allows you to control the opacity of the picture. So how much of the chart below do you want to allow to shine through? So we can control that through our overlay transparency. Now you also notice we had something called the full layer. Full layer will add the water detail. Now some people ask, why do you want to add the water detail? Well, sometimes when we're over in the Bahamas or maybe down in the Keys, and we've got these very narrow channelways, sometimes it's easier to see those sandbanks, to see the channel by a photo than it is by looking at the standard chart. So sometimes visually it's easier for people to just steer it right through the darker part of the color versus trying to follow the contour lines on a chip. And again, always when you turn it off, it goes back to the standard color palette that was set. Now we're going to go back and we'll talk about our raster charts. So raster chart is basically your paper chart. So in the Reveal chip, we have that full raster layer. So any customer that wants to look at a traditional paper chart, we can now overlay that on the chart plotter as well. And you also notice that we also have that transparency control to allow the underlying chip or color palette to shine through just by controlling our transparency. Simply hit back and we can turn our raster charts off. Next one down we have is high-res bathies. So these are high-res bathymetric lines. So we have the ability on the machine to add bathymetric lines to show whether it's a rise or a drop. You can instantly see where those depth changes are from a gradual to a very rapid depth change. So it allows you to show that hump or show that hole a lot quicker and easier. And that's just simply by turning on high-res bathies. The next layer we're going to talk about is our Genesis layer. The Genesis layer is pre-recorded depth data from customers out in the field that have uploaded it to our Genesis site, and we now download it onto the chip. So as you can see, we just turned on an area here that one of our customers recorded from his sounder. He went in and set his custom bathymetric lines. And that data can be added as an overlay onto the chart. So you might come into an area or you might survey an area yourself. You now can make that custom chart, bring it onto the Reveal chip, and now have the ability to turn it on and off as you wish, as well as download any other free data that is there on the Genesis site. But when you update your chips, we automatically load whatever Genesis data is available at that time. And again, you're simply turning that layer on and off. Chart detail allows you to control the amount of data that shows up on the screen. So if you get into areas where it's very busy, if it has the full layer on, you can control that and remove some of those soundings, some of those bathymetric lines, just simply by going in and controlling your chart detail. Now if we scroll down the menu, the next is categories. Categories allows you to customize your view with the icons you want to see. You can go in and either deselect the entire category, or we can go in and only turn off the items within that category we do not wish to view. So below categories is shaded relief. Now this is where we're able to turn on that reveal layer. Now when we notice with a traditional map, with our high-res bathymetrics on, so this allows us to see those depth changes. We have some icons for some wrecks, but we really don't know how they actually look when they're sitting on the ocean floor. So when we turn on shaded relief, we now show these wrecks as they sit on the ocean floor. So this now makes it a game changer for diving and for sports fishing, because now we can see which direction that wreck is laying. We can see some of the other parts and pieces that might be around it, and then we might find some hard bottom there that we never knew was actually there. So this now allows us to fish more efficiently and find those spots by simply looking at the color shaded floor. Now the nice thing is, and what sets us apart from some of our competitors, is we do have the ability to turn on our high-res bathymetrics and overlay it. We do have the ability to overlay our icons because it is a full CMAP chip on top of this high-res color bathymetric layer. We do also have the ability to turn off all contours so that we clean up the picture and only see that high-res bathymetric reveal layer. So below categories is shaded relief. This is how we turn on the reveal layer. So we're looking at a traditional chart, we're out in some deeper waters, all we see is contour lines, so we truly don't know what the bottom looks like. By turning on shaded relief, we now get a high-res color picture of that ocean floor. So now we can see as the depth starts coming up, we can see all those nice little holes. We can see the entire contour of the bottom. Now what sets the CMAP reveal chart apart from the competitors is it is a full CMAP chip, which means all of our nav aids, all of our markers, all of our icons are written on top of the reveal layer. So this now gives you safety at sea while you're watching that contour or ocean floor. Now we're going to jump in and show you a couple other ways to use the reveal chip to help you out on the water. When diving or fishing the reefs, the CMAP reveal allows you to pinpoint the ledges, holes, and cracks to find that next secret spot. For those of you that deep drop or swordfish, CMAP reveal takes the guesswork out of targeting that perfect bottom, whether you're looking for holes, risers, or ledges to target that perfect species. Divers on the hunt for that secret coral head loaded with fish and lobster use the CMAP reveal chip to help find that next honey hole. CMAP reveal can also be used for navigating in unknown shallow waters. It allows you to not only just see a contour line on the chart, but actually see the ocean floor to help you avoid those shallows and coral heads. Going back into the options, next one is depth palette. Depth palette is 5 customizable color palettes, and you simply click through them and you'll notice that the colors will change for each setting. These are the most common palettes that CMAP has come across, so they've loaded them into the chart for you. Now when we get to safety shading, this will allow us to color our chart. Anything under desired setting, so we put in 60 feet, will go to this darker bluish gray color palette. Everything above will be lighter. So now we can isolate those areas that we need to really start to take concern versus everything else on the chart. And you can always set that safety depth and change it, which will change these settings. Depth filter will now remove any data on the screen above that desired setting. So if I don't care for any settings above 100 feet, you notice all of my local depth soundings have now been removed. So again, another way to customize your screen and clear up the clutter. CMAP also allows you to do custom shading. So you have the ability to set your custom palettes. So you have custom depth 1 and custom depth 2. You can go in and set any depth and pick any color for that depth range. So now what happens is I've set up this custom palette, I turn it on, and this now goes to the custom palette that I desired. So now I can go in and I can set these ranges up where I can make these little channels show up in a lot brighter color than they would from a standard color palette that's already selected. So I have gone and set that 0 to 5 feet in red, 5 to 20 is in yellow. So now you notice that I've brightened up that channel by making a custom palette. So if this is an area I run, I can now set those palettes to find those channelways a lot easier. Now to go in and to make that custom palette, you simply pick a layer. We set the depth. So what we're going to do is do 10 foot. So 0 to 10 foot. We pick a color. Maybe we'll start with a purple. We hit OK. And then the next one, maybe we'll leave it at 40 foot, but we can change the color. And then we can go through. We can also add points. So if I want to add another contour line out here at maybe 500 feet, I can add that. I can again change that color. So you can add as many colors and as many depth ranges as you wish to customize that screen. So to turn it on, we simply select depth 2, and now we've got our custom palette. So that was an overview of the C-MAP Reveal chip, which is a game changer when fishing, diving, or just navigating the waterways.
Wow, Sean, thanks so much. That was really great. If you had a question and it didn't get answered, just go to the email address on the screen and we'll follow up and answer that question for you. Thank you so much for watching. And if you want to catch any of our previous webinars, be sure to go to simradyachting.com/live where you can see pre-recorded webinars from the past. We'll see you next Tuesday from 6 to 7 Central Time.